Fire me up, man. We had a great weekend of big league ball. We just were talking right before we hit the record button about that Tampa Houston series. That was a joy. Washington, Arizona was wonky and sad at the end with Corbin Burns, but we got to get to the weekend that was in Major League Baseball with the
Weekend
yeah, perfect.
Roundup.
Who we brought to you by?
BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Remember, folks, download BetMGM, whether that be on iOS or Android, and use promo code JUSTBASEBALL. Why? First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first wager loses. Not a bad idea. Any college baseball bettors out there, make sure to use our code JUSTBASEBALL in all caps. But remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. I have been obsessed with college baseball. Please ask me about it.
I was going to say, so housekeeping notes off the top. I've got a couple of things, but you have a couple of things. You had a great weekend of college ball. I did not watch any of the regionals, but you had a blast with the regionals, huh?
Oh man, I'll be completely honest with you. I watched more college baseball this weekend than I did Major League Baseball. It
I understand.
was a blast. There was four number one seeds all went down, including the overall number one seed Vanderbilt. Georgia lost, Oregon lost, Clemson lost. I mean, that is not normal for the number one seeds in each bracket to go down this early. Remember, we're recording Sunday, June 1st. So it's not those one seeds just not winning their regional, losing in the championship game. No, they were already eliminated. I was just watching Ole Miss versus Georgia Tech, 11-9 win by the Rebels, back and forth, back and forth. College baseball is such a joy. If you are a fan of chaos, I think if there was one fan base that would love college baseball the most, it might be Detroit Tigers fans. Because I feel like watching the Tigers in the playoffs is as close as it gets to almost every single one of the college baseball games we've been that's been on TV. It has been so much fun this weekend.
Like those peak gritty tags, right?
Yep, gritty tags.
So the first of two housekeeping things that I have off the top is we have a show planned for Friday that we're going to record on Thursday. And it's going to be a super regional preview. And I want you to comment if you're watching us on YouTube or go to the YouTube comments if you're listening whenever you have a moment. And I want you to tell us which type of episode you want. We're also going to put this in our Discord, and that opens up your opportunity to mention something before I pose this question.
Yes. So again, we talked about this on the Friday episode, but this is our biggest sale of the year. It's a 5-month package to join the best baseball group chat in the world. Right? You got all of my betting picks. You have Colby's picks. We're up 20 units between the two of us, but it's not just gambling. It is so much more. MLB trade deadline. We are going to be talking about rumors that you couldn't even imagine, breaking down every trade in there. Of course, that's going to be such a blast. The MLB draft with all of our college guys right now during regionals, super regionals, all the way to Omaha, breaking down all of those games. Aram is crushing it. He'll probably mention that on Tuesday a top 100 update is coming. Guess who hears about that first? The Discord. There's so much great stuff happening, including box breaks that we're also going to continue to do. The Discord has been so much fun. We're closing in on 700 members so far. And if you thought about joining, but maybe $10 a month really wasn't your speed, this gets you at the most affordable price, just $7 a month from now until the World Series. So for just $35, you'll be in for the entire time, 30% off. And again, another reminder, we're not going to do a sale like this for the rest of the season. So if you were thinking about it, now is the perfect time to get in. Again, at just $7 a month over 5 months. And the
Cool.
link is in the episode description.
Perfect. Now the question that will be posed in Discord, and you can also, offer your input on YouTube. How do you want the episode to sound on Friday? We're going to do a super regional preview with the college baseball folks that we've got. Tyler Jennings and Jared Perkins are going to join us, the hosts of On the Clock. Do you want a Super Regionals for Dummies episode? Because if that's the case, I will host because I have admittedly been terrible following along with college baseball. I haven't done it whatsoever. Peter obviously has been locked into regional weekend, and Peter keeps, his ear to the pavement during the regular season of college baseball as well. So if you want a little bit more in depth, of a breakdown, like, hey, here are the trends of regional weekend. Here's who's hot going into the supers. Let us know if you want that, because then Peter will host. But if you want college baseball for dummies, talk to me like the supers, like I'm 5 years old. I will host. So let us know again, Discord and YouTube.
I think
My only other housekeeping thing, yeah,
I
what you
was just
got?
going to say, I think both options are fun, right? So if you
Yeah,
want more
sure.
of kind of a simple explanation of what's going on, Jack will host with our
Yeah, who are the
guys.
guys? Who are the guys that might go first round left in the super regionals? Like that's the kind of question that I'm going to ask, and I'm going to have them like mansplain. Is this kid Wahiwa Aloy for Arkansas? Is he still in right now?
For Arkansas, yes, they are still
Okay,
in.
okay,
Arkansas,
yeah. So
yeah,
so there we go. Like,
yeah.
who is he? You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of question that I'm going to ask. But obviously, you'll get a little bit more in depth with Peter.
Yeah, so it's up to you guys. We're going to leave it up to our audience. So we're going to check all the YouTube comments down below as
Yep.
well as asking everybody in our Discord what is the better option. And of course, in the meantime, if you're hunting for more college baseball analysis, the
On the
On the
clock.
Clock podcast is fantastic. Go
Yes.
check it out. The newest podcast added to the Just Baseball Network. They've been breaking down college baseball all season long, as well as on our website too. But they are fantastic on the mic. Go check them out.
The only other thing before the roundup, can you choose my headwear for the rest of the episode? Because I've got a couple of options. Aram was at the ballpark on Sunday, and he dropped off the new white just baseball rope hat, which is nasty. I love it.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, you got
So,
to. No, I don't even want to hear the other options. I'm hunting for that white
are you
just
sure?
baseball rope hat. Yes,
The other option is our stylish Marlins brand fedora that was a giveaway on Sunday.
actually, the fedora. Yes, the whole
Yeah,
time,
there
please.
you go. You know what? And it's a little small. Is it supposed to like be snug on my head, or is it supposed to just sit on top?
It's
I
so
feel like a
funny.
pilgrim right
I
now.
was like, what other hat could actually beat the just baseball new white rope hat? It's the Marlins fedora
It's a
that
Marlins
doesn't fit
fedora.
you. That doesn't fit you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. Should I just let this fedora rest on my head for the rest of the episode?
Correct. This is an electric rundown. Roundup.
Perfect. This is an electric roundup already. Okay, we start with my series.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with a sweep or a mop. It was a mopping of the Athletics by the Toronto Blue Jays. It was a four-game series that got going on Thursday. In Jays A's, game one went to Toronto 12-0. Jays got eight in the second and three in the third off the tandem of Jacob Lopez and Anthony Maldonado. Jose Barrios, six scoreless innings. He allowed just two hits and he punched out nine. Ernie Clement, Vladdy, Bichette, and Springer all homered. Mount Rushmore of Toronto Blue Jays, those four. Game two, 11-7 in favor of the Blue Jays. Toronto got three in the second. They got three more in the third. They got three in the fifth, and they got two in the sixth. Ernie Clement had a four-hit day. He was 4 for 5. He finished a triple shy of the cycle. Addison Barger homered. More on that in a moment. While Tyler Soderstrom and Shea Langoliers homered for Oakland. Springs got pounded for 6 runs, and he walked six in 2 innings plus. He got 6 outs through 82 pitches in game two on Friday. Game three, this was tight. 8-7 Toronto. Oakland started with three in the top of the first, but Toronto countered with four in the bottom of the first. Then the A's punched back with two in the top of the second, but then Toronto plated runs in the second and third. The Athletics had two in the ninth to make it tight. Brent Rooker had a 3-hit day with a 2-run homer in the ninth off Jeff Hoffman to make it a 1-run game. Don't look now, but Hoffman's ERA is over 6 on the year.
Mm.
Also got back-to-back days with a homer for Soderstrom and Denzel Clark's first major league home run, but Springer had a multi-homer day, Bichette homered, and Addison Barger homered for the second day in a row. Game three, game four, pardon, 8-4 Toronto. The A's finished the month of May and June 1st 7-22. That is only better than the 4-25 Colorado Rockies. Toronto trailed 4-2 going into the bottom of the eighth, but Addison freaking Barger homered for the third day in a row. It was a 3-run go-ahead home run as part of a 6-run eighth inning, and the A's, by the way, were 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position. This was a good old-fashioned can of whoop-ass that the Toronto Blue Jays gave to the Athletics, and unfortunately, it just seems like the A's magic is by the wayside now.
Yeah, you know, watching the A's, you want them to be so much better, and they're just not. I mean, Tyler Soderstrom was better in this series, but he took kind of a dive after he started off red hot. Lawrence Butler's been good, not great. Brent Rooker's been very good. Shea Langeliers kind of goes through his ups and downs. And then the rest of the lineup leaves a lot to be desired. And they just can't get the ball from their starter to Mason Miller. They can't do it. The middle of their bullpen, and really everybody in their bullpen outside of Mason Miller just, is not preventing runs. And then their starting rotation, right? If they don't dominate, they're not going to win. So it's been pretty disappointing to watch the A's because you see so much potential, but they're just not really clicking right now. But I have a couple of takeaways on the Blue Jays, and I know you do too. I know you want to talk about Addison Barger, so I'll throw it over to you for that.
That last homer that he hit, number three in as many days on Sunday, was off the bat at 112 miles an hour. Like, we knew this guy was a violent swinger, yet he timed it up well. Arm has been very high on Barger since he was in the upper minors. And I almost like, it's not that I pushed back on it. I almost just didn't see what he was talking about for a little bit because I was like, oh, he's going to swing out of his shoes and it's not really going to work. He has enough barrel manipulation to make it work, but then he struggled out of the gates in the big leagues. He might be finding it right
Yeah.
now. And this is fun to watch, and they need someone to find it in that system, whether it's Barger or Elvis Martinez is clearly not that guy. I was thinking they need one of those two to click. It seems like Barger is finally clicking.
They have another guy who's clicking right now, too.
Ernie.
Well, yes. Alejandro Kirk. He needs to be
Sure.
talked about a little bit more. The Blue Jays make a trade with the Diamondbacks and send over Gabby Moreno. And the Blue Jays got a lot of shit for it because Alejandro Kirk didn't seem like the best catcher of the bunch. And we're thinking to ourselves, what are you doing, Blue Jays? Right? And Gabby Moreno's been good, but Alejandro Kirk's been great this year. Right? He's still just 26 years old, and he has been the best defender at the catching position in Major League Baseball while hitting over 300 with a hard hit rate of 53.7%. He's only walking, or excuse me, he's only striking out 10% of the time, walking 7.3, puts up consistent good bats, hits the ball hard. I mean, this is one of the better young catchers in Major League Baseball. And I feel like with Cal Raleigh hitting a home run every single day, the other two, William Contreras and Will Smith, those are 2 and 3. And then there's a
So Adley's
conversation.
gone?
Of course, Adley's still there. Adley's still there, and he's going to get better. But
Did Adley
no,
perish?
Adley did not perish. That's on me. This is
Okay.
off the top of my dome. Adley is great. He's definitely number 4. But then
Yeah.
who's number 5?
Yvonne Herrera?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But what I am saying is Alejandro Kirk is in this conversation right now, and that's huge
Cool.
for Toronto.
Cool. Can I take off this fedora and switch to
No,
just baseball hat?
no, you
Okay.
made the decision.
No,
You
you
made
made the
It's
decision.
way too good. It's
You
way
made
too
the
good.
decision.
I wore after the Yankees lost a Yankees or I suck post-it note taped to my hat.
The
You're
entire show.
you're rocking the fedora. Just rock
All
the
right. All
fedora. You look
right. Does it
great.
look better when I pull it down like this
Doesn't
far
look
on my head?
it doesn't look good no matter what you do though.
Okay.
It just it is what it
No,
is.
fedora rest of the way. You know
Yeah,
what? We rock with it. You ready for the next series?
absolutely.
Okay. Next series that we got to talk about is the White Sox and the O's. And aside from a benches clearing kerfuffle, this was a whole bunch of nothing. It was a sweep for the Baltimore Orioles. Game one went to Baltimore 2-1. Baltimore got their 2 runs in the sixth on a sac fly and a good old double steal on a first and third play where the Sox threw through to second base. White Sox got their run in the ninth on a Benintendi double, but Felix Bautista collected his ninth save. Zach Eflin, 7 shutout with 6 punchouts. Game two, 4-2 Baltimore. O's got all their scoring done by the end of the fifth. Jackson Holliday clubbed the first leadoff home run of his career. Jorge Mateo had a 2 run shot. The benches cleared when Kobe Mayo hunted an obstruction call between first and second. Dean Kramer was a starter for Baltimore, and he threw well 6 innings, a 1 run ball, 7 Ks. And then game three went to Baltimore to complete the sweep 3-2. Mike Talkman tripled and homered. Shout out Talkman. That was gas. Gunnar Henderson, 2 for 4. Charlie Morton, 6 2/3, 1 unearned run, so no earned against him in 6 2/3, and he K'd 7. My only takeaway from this one was I thought it was a little weird what Kobe Mayo did. Clearly, hunting obstruction was not going to get it, and then creating like drama with Lenine Sosa of all people. I just thought it was a little odd. But this is a vehemently pro Kobe Mayo podcast, so I'm not going any farther than that.
Yeah, I mean the Orioles have done this twice now. Remember Heston Kjerstad against the Yankees? Volpe did, kind of he was playing he was tapping him on the shoulder. He's trying to get him riled up. But again, it's like these little things that these Orioles bats have something to say, and then the bench is clear and absolutely nothing happens.
Yeah.
I posted on Twitter, I was like, if the bench is clear, including the bullpens, it should be mandatory that two guys meet on the mound and fight
Yeah,
because
someone punches.
what are
Yeah.
we doing here? I mean, all we're doing is just going out there for a little chit chat, and they're not even like shoving each other. At least
Mayo and Sosa shoved each other. Mayo shoved
kind
Linne
of.
Sosa, which I didn't appreciate, obviously,
He,
but like
no, they didn't even shove. They nudged. They just nudged
I
each
saw
other.
the two-hand push off.
It was so lame. So what I will say to the Orioles, if you're going to continue to do this, whatever, fight. Don't just sit there like a bunch of wusses. But I'll also be honest with the audience. College baseball took priority over this series. I mean, I
Okay.
don't have a ton of takeaways on this one. White Sox are terrible. Orioles have won 6 of their last 10. They are playing better baseball, and you can only play who's in front of you. And how about Chuck Morton at the ripe old age of 148?
Chuck Nasty.
Shoving against the
Sorry.
White Sox. Good for you.
Chuck Nasty's Blackman. Charlie Morton is what? He's not Uncle Charlie because that was Adam Wainwright. What is Charlie Morton?
Chuck
Just
Nasty.
no, that's Charlie
Oh yeah,
Blackman.
that is
Who's
Uncle
Charlie
Chuck.
Morton?
He's
Chuck? Is he just Chuck?
I think he's just Chuck. Chuck
Yeah,
Morton.
sure. Yeah, shout out you, Chuck.
Good segment there.
Really good segment. Yeah, and I don't condone fighting, but
I
Peter
do.
seems to.
I
So,
fully condone it.
okay.
Fully.
Okay. We go to Colorado and the Mets, and this was another sweep for New York. Game one went to the Mets 4-2, the final score. Francisco Lindor, 2 for 4 with 2 home runs. Juan Soto, 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Sam Hilliard homered for Colorado. David Peterson, 5 2/3 innings, 1 run. He K'd 5. Kyle Freeland took the loss. Freeland is now 0-8. Game two went to the Mets, 8-2, the final score. Mets pounced for 4 in the first, multi-hit days for Lindor and Nimmo. Brett Beatty tripled. Nimmo, Soto, McNeil homered. Ezekiel Tovar homered for Colorado. Kodai Senga, 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 7 Ks. His ERA now sits at 1.60. It went up a teensy tiny bit. Antonio Senzatella, 4 innings, 7 earned. Senzatella hitting the pillow on Saturday night, 1-10 with a 7.14 ERA. And then game three on Sunday, 5-3 Mets to complete the sweep. It was a home run barrage. How about Rocktober, man, or Rock Bay? Orlando Arcia's first as a Rocky, and then Tyler Freeman homered as well. But Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, and Juan Soto all homered for the Mets, the big three, including a 3-run shot for Alonso in the fourth. On the hill, Clay Holmes, 7 innings, a 3-run ball. Edwin Diaz K'd 3 in the ninth. He collected his 13th save. Just want to read this from Bob Nightingale real quick. The Colorado Rockies have established a new major league record for futility. After losing to the Mets today on Sunday, they now have a 9-50 record, which is the most games played by any team in baseball history before earning their 10th win. Only 4 teams have played 55 or more games before winning their 10th game of the season. In 1895, the Louisville Colonels were 10-49, although Bob's math makes no sense there. Actually,
Shout out, Bob.
would it? Oh yeah, 55 or more games. No, that does make sense. All right, Bob, you know what? I owe you an apology.
Shout out,
The
Bob.
the 1904 Washington Senators were 10-45-3. The 1886 Washington Nationals were 10-45-1, and the 1899 Cleveland Spiders were 10-45. So you have it, even predating the modern era, which began in 1901. The Colorado Rockies win the race to 50. They are the worst team in Major League Baseball through 59 games.
I
Major
mean,
League Baseball history.
yeah, they're the worst team I've ever seen. They're the worst team you've ever seen. They're the worst team every single listener of the Just Baseball show has ever seen. And
You
they're
don't
the
think they win 41 games this year? Like
no.
it is interesting because we've got the White Sox last year at 41 and
This
121,
team
and
is
we
way
may get
worse.
something worse this year.
This team is way worse. This team is an abomination. I mean, they have zero redeeming qualities. And now that might seem mean because, of course, they have Ezekiel Tovar, they have Brenton Doyle. That's it. Because Chase Dollander going on the shelf certainly doesn't help, and it's not like he was off to a great start. And why would he be? Half of his games are in Coors, and he's a rookie. It's tough. I'm not even blaming him. But then the rest of the Rockies starters that they throw out there all have ERAs in the trillions. The bullpen outside of Jake Bird and your occasional Zach Agnes masterclass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it felt like a miracle that they only lost by 2 in the last game. It felt like a miracle they were even able to score against Clay Holmes. They're an embarrassment. They are, I commented under one of our Twitter posts about the Rockies, and I was like, it's borderline offensive to watch them. Like, it's offending me as a fan of baseball to watch the Rockies attempt to play baseball. They may never win a game on the road ever again. And then at home, yeah, they'll probably get 20 wins. I think they finish with, I think they're in the 30s. They'll
Wow.
probably go like 38 and 100 and whatever the math is. I mean, they're terrible. They are a horrendous, they're the worst product I've ever seen in professional sports in any season ever. I mean, this is an embarrassment. And now, and Mets takeaway. Antonio Sensatella threw the worst pitch I've ever seen, and Juan Soto cranked it. I mean, it was like a 90-mile-an-hour sinker that just fluttered in the middle, and Soto just crushed it. Of course he did. I could have hit that. It's some of the worst baseball all around. They don't play defense, they don't pitch, they don't hit, and every single time they roll up to the ballpark, it's like, how many are we going to lose by today? And that's why it felt like a miracle they only lost by 2 in that last game. And they actually kept it close. We have a running joke in our Discord. It's like the Rockies had a lead for 8 minutes. What can they do tomorrow? They didn't have a lead the entire time. All right, next game. They led for an inning this time. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment.
Aside from that, it seems like you're pretty on board with what they're doing.
I just hate watching them so much because I'm like, you're not even a team. You're not even a team. And it pisses me off. I hate like bad baseball with no direction. If you have direction, I can understand a rebuild. I get it. But with no direction for years, just being a bottom barrel dweller for how long now? And you'd think maybe they could hire someone in a research and development position in order to figure out how to add players that play well at elevation or that their pitch mix matches up well. They don't hire anybody. And I know because I have friends who go to Rockies games and they're like, it's a joke. We just go to drink and have fun. And that's why Rockies games, people show up. And it makes sense. It's a fun atmosphere. We've been there. It's such a nice ballpark. The weather's great. Usually during the season, they got good drink options. I mean, thank God. I mean, if they didn't, there would be 0 people showing up. It's like, and we joke about Rocktober. I'm
You're
sick
still
of the jokes.
going.
I'm sick of the jokes.
It's unbelievable that you're still going.
I hate watching them. I hate it so much.
I mean, you're not
I could
doing
keep
yourself
going.
any favors. Arm and I are diehard Rockies fans.
I
You
know,
don't
and
appreciate.
you know why I hate it too? The
You don't
jokes about
appreciate
it.
Zach Agnos like I do.
No, because we don't even treat them like a real team.
No,
That's embarrassing.
that's the whole point.
That sucks. I don't even like the jokes anymore. I'm so done.
Well, I like him, and there's my second favorite team behind the Marlins. Okay. Game or series number.
White Sox. You're a White
What?
Sox fan.
No, I'm not.
Not anymore.
What are you talking about? They lost me a couple years ago.
Fish.
All right, let's jump to San Francisco and the Marlins. And this was a good series. If you like pitching, this was the series for you. Game 1 went to San Francisco 2-0. Runs came in an RBI single from Wilmer Flores and a solo homer from Matt Chapman. Kyle Harrison looked dialed in. I don't know if you caught any of this one. Kyle Harrison, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs. 6 arms finished the final 4 innings. Bob Melvin pressed all the right buttons. 7 arms used in a shutout win that tied a franchise record. Camilo Doval got a 4-out save in front of his mom, Rosa, who saw him play in Major League Baseball for the first time with them in Miami. Game 2 went to the Marlins 1-0. Miami got their run on an RBI single from Javier Sanoja in the second, and that was it. Robbie Ray was awesome. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 9 punch-outs. But Robbie Ray suffered his first loss of the season. He is now 7-1 with a 2.43 ERA. Edward Cabrera, 5 2/3 scoreless with 5 punchouts. There were highlight plays. Heriberto Hernandez robbed a home run. Dane Myers went leaping into the wall to take an RBI double away from Jung Hoo Lee. Edward Cabrera in the month of May. I want to shout this out. 5 starts, ERA at 2 flat, 2.00. In 27 innings, he K'd 28 and walked just 8. So Cabby just tied up a great month. Game 3, 4-2 San Francisco. Big blow came from Luis Matos with the 3-run home run in the 4th inning against Ryan Weathers. Hayden Birdsong was really good. 5 1/3, 1 run. He K'd 5, did not walk anyone. Camilo Doval got his second 4-out save in 3 days. So a 2-1 series win for San Francisco. Runs are at a premium for both sides this weekend, and I thought that was interesting. But the pitching was like, I thought it was more of a testament to the pitching than it is like scuffling offenses. Now, granted, the Giants' offense is really sputtering right now.
Yeah, speaking of sputtering, the Giants have a first base issue. Lamont Wade has been weirdly terrible. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm a huge Lamont Wade guy, right? In 2023, posted a 120 WRC plus, 2024, 119. He just walks a ton, always puts up consistent ABs, and can provide you power in a pinch. I always thought he was just kind of an underrated player. This season, he's slashing 167, 271, 271 for a 56 WRC plus, and he's been worth negative 1.1 F4. He can't play his position and he can't hit. At that position, I'm almost thinking like, I think Wilmer Flores just has to be there, and I don't know what they do with Lamont Wade. I mean, the Giants, luckily, they have a great team. You got a great bullpen, you got a great starting staff, and you have a good offense. And a lot of guys have been stepping up. Heliot Ramos has been great. Jung Hoo Lee has been great. Matt Chapman is still a stud. Adames is going to get better. But just watching Lamont Wade ABs, I just feel like I'm watching a completely different guy than I'm used to. And I don't know if he's playing through an injury. It just looks like someone else is wearing his jersey right now, and it's something that the Giants have to monitor because it just continues and continues and continues.
I only saw him play once because Casey Schmidt played first twice. I didn't have any sweeping takeaways on Lamont Wade. I will say the Adames struggle thing right now is pretty real. Like
Yeah,
he got pieced up by some Edward Cabrera changeups, and then Weathers took care of him today. Now these are two talented arms, but Adames does look kind of outmatched in certain matchups, and that's never what you want to see from your $180 million shortstop.
absolutely. That is, and the defense. I know it was good. I think in this series, I
Defense
didn't
is
see him.
good. Defense was good this
I didn't.
weekend.
Yeah, I didn't see him make any mistakes. But grading out wise, he is not graded out
No,
well at
not
all.
great. My only other thing from this weekend, dude, Kyle Harrison can pitch, man.
Yeah, he
Like
can.
I like watching him pitch.
I just get a little bit nervous because I feel like he's kind of velocity dependent. And you correct me if I'm wrong from watching him again. It's like when he's 93, 94 up, I mean, guys are swinging through it,
He grabbed
right?
sevens, man. He got up
Yeah.
to 97, and I like that. It's game over when he's 95, 96 with those characteristics, and just like he's releasing major league average release height for a pitcher is about 5'9". He was releasing from like 4'7", 4'8".
Yeah,
Like
that
it's crazy, and it's still overhand.
it's an invisible. I mean, the guys can't see it. But what I'm saying is that we've seen Kyle Harrison in the past drop a little bit, maybe get a little bit tired, and then
Yeah,
he's
and then guys will
really
hit.
hittable. So
Yeah,
yeah, when his arm is fresh like this, I mean, that's why he was one of the best pitchers in the minors for a long time.
yeah, yeah. All right, one more series from me.
Let's go.
Pirates, Padres. This was a weird one. Game 3 was still in action when we hit the record button, so I will check on game 3. But game 1 went to San Diego 3-2, and this had a big old asterisk next to it. Pirates got their 2 in the top of the 6th. San Diego responded with 2 in the bottom of the 6th. Mitch Keller went 6 innings plus. He allowed 3 runs. Nick Pivetta 6 innings, a 2-run ball with 8 Ks. Biggest moment in this game. Bases loaded, 2 men gone in the top of the 8th inning. Robert Suarez strikes out Henry Davis looking on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball that was clearly low. Edwin Jimenez calls a strike. Pirates people lose it. We got a great gift from Mitch Keller, a soft spoken Iowa boy yelling F you at Edwin Jimenez. Like, he's got his fists near his belt and he's yelling it and like shaking like he's 8 years old and he's like F you, like it was so funny to look at. Don Kelly is a firecracker and I like watching him manage the Pirates, but the Keller like gif is just so good. It's gonna have staying power for a long time. uh
Hold on, you replicating that in your fedora. Like it's just like it's so funny.
F you, ref. Like it was so good. All right, game two went to the Pirates 5-0 the final score. Bailey Falter show, 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He struck out just one guy. Andrew McCutchen homered. It was a 3-hit day with 2 RBIs for a Mr. Brian Reynolds. And then this ball game today on Sunday was a 6-4 Padres win. San Diego 6 runs on 8 hits. Pirates 4 runs on 7 hits. A homer from Machado in the first inning against Andrew Heaney. McCutchen homered. Adam Frazier homered. Heaney, the starter for the Pirates, 5 2/3 innings, 2-run ball. But the San Diego bullpen really settled in after Randy Vasquez went 3 1/3, a 4-run ball. Wandy Peralta, David Morgan, who's nasty, Adrian Morejon, Jason Adam, Robert Suarez, they combined to go, 5 2/3 scoreless for the Padres out of the bullpen. So it is a series win, 2 games to 1 for San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a tough time trying to figure out the Padres all season long. They won this series, good for them. Didn't play all that well against a Pirates team that I think is, one of the worst in baseball. They've won 6 of their last 10, but there's just, I don't know. They don't feel as magical. They don't play with the same type of edge that they did last year. Profar was such a lightning rod for them, and it just felt like from top to bottom they would get on you so quickly. And this season, like they're still good,
Yeah.
right? They're not a bad team at all. They're still in second place in by far the best division in baseball.
I don't know. The American League Central has something to say about that, and I'm being serious.
No, I know. I love that take, but when you got the Dodgers and the Giants and the Padres and well, maybe I can't even include the Diamondbacks. Yeah, the Central is
And
right there.
the Giants' offense is not going right now.
Let's say the best. I mean, the NL East is good too. Whatever, a very good division.
Yeah, good division.
They're a very good division. So they're still playing well. I don't know. There just feels like something's missing. And it's really hard because, on a podcast, we're supposed to explain why. And I don't really know what it is. I just know when I turn on Padres games and watch them, like even watching this series, I just don't feel the same juice, the same edge. And again, a good team, not as scary.
I don't know if it's an edge
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know what it is. I just feel different.
I don't know. I think it's probably the lack of that other tried and true starter. Like if Michael King was starting 20% of their games, I think you would feel different.
If Joe Musgrove was shoving, like
Yeah, or like even
Tatis was
Darvish.
having a
Like if
great
if
year,
two of if two of King, Darvish, and Musgrove were in the rotation, I think you'd feel a little bit different.
it could be reduced to that. But I don't know because it's not just the pitchers. It's like everybody. It's everybody on the Padres. They just and Padres fans. Let me know if you think in the YouTube comments below if I'm just talking out of my
They
ass.
they
Like, I
got
don't
a
know what
they
I'm
got a
talking about.
catcher problem. They have a catcher problem clearly, where they're trying to just piecemeal Elias Diaz, Maldonado, and Campusano together, and it's just not working.
Yeah, none of them work right now. Yeah, I don't know. Something to watch. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
We're gonna get to Peter's series in a moment. Before that, quick break.
Reds versus Cubs. Game one, Reds win 6-2. Reds scored all 6 runs before the Cubs touched home plate, and it was a home run party. TJ Friedel, Tyler Stevenson, and Jake Fraley were all invited. How about Andrew Abbott? Have a day again against the Cubs. 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 8 punchouts. His ERA is down to 1.51. Colin Ray got crushed for 6 earned and 10 hits over 5 innings. We move to game two. Cubs get revenge, win 2-0. This is a great pitchers duel between Nick Lodolo and Ben Brown, but Drew Pomeranz continues to defy father time, opening the game with another scoreless inning. He's thrown 13 2/3 at the time, that the game ended without allowing a run for the Cubs. He hasn't pitched in a game since 2021. Game was decided late on a Seiya Suzuki pop fly that Will Benson lost in the sun, which drove home the first run, and then Dansby whacked home the second, and it was over. Lodolo, 6 shutty with 5 punchies. His ERA is down to 3.10. But Ben Brown, that curveball was working. 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. That fastball at the top of the zone was diabolical as well. Game 3, Cubs win the series, winning 7-3. They put up 4 runs in the third, highlighted by a 2-run shot from Michael Busch, and that was all they needed. But really, Ellie De La Cruz hit his 50th home run of his career in the 6th. And he was considering not playing after he just heard about the death of his sister, but played anyway. And when he came home, you could tell he was emotional and gestured up to recognize his sister. I thought it was an incredible moment of the weekend. Jameson Taillon was very solid, 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned. His ERA is down to 3.76. Another weekend roundup, another Cubs series win.
Yeah, it is clockwork right now, and that was a really cool moment from Ellie De La Cruz. So I'm glad you shouted that out. Obviously, like it's hard to understand the context, but the people that do have the context, like relay it to the masses, and I thought that was a special moment for Ellie De La Cruz. But yeah, I mean the Cubbies, like I like the idea of Ben Brown being eased into a game with an opener like Pomerantz.
Yeah.
They need an answer for like one other spot in their rotation right now. With Shota, obviously working on a return to play, but with Steele out for the year, they need an answer somewhere else, and I'm ready to call them one of the best teams in baseball. I'm close to that already, but I'm just waiting on like one more. Like if one more thing clicks for me, then we're good. I will say Shaw is settling in.
Yeah, just to answer the thing about the rotation, I see what you mean because I think we're thinking that they have to add like an ace level talent to go win a World Series. I think
No,
that's
no, I
kind of
just
what you
need
mean.
Pomerantz to Brown. Like that's all I need.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is about the Cubs rotation is I think it's been a very pleasant surprise, right? Shota going down and Steele goes down. Who's going to step up? Taillon is just solid. I know he's not one of our favorite pitchers in the world. We're not running to MLB.TV to go watch Jameson Taillon, but every single time he throws, he shoves. Right? He's got an ERA in the mid threes. Matthew Boyd, really solid pitcher. Cade Horton, flashing really good stuff. And Ben Brown just continues to get better and better. And then, of course, you still have Colin Ray. So when Shota comes back, I think that this rotation has enough to compete with anybody, especially considering the offense is just unbelievably prolific. And with Palencia stepping into that closer role, they had one good bullpen arm. And yeah, they should be in the market for a starter. But I really think that this team can compete as long as Shota comes back with everyone that's currently in the rotation. I think they're good enough.
I'll be honest, just looking around the league right now at the probable starters for this week, Tyone might be bottom 5 of people that I'm running to MLB TV to turn on.
And yet he's a beast, kind
And
of.
yet, yeah,
He's good.
beast. Yeah, he's good.
You know
He's
what he
good.
does? He just keeps the Cubs in the game and they
Sure,
win a lot of his starts
sure.
because he gives up 2, 1, 3 runs, doesn't get shelled, and then the Cubs put up 5 and they win.
Yeah. So like he's up there for me with like Stephen Kolek and Aaron Savali.
Oh, that's so mean.
I
He's
mean,
nowhere near those guys. I mean,
what do you mean?
Kolek's not been terrible.
Savali wasn't terrible. You
Yeah,
loved
true.
Savali
I
last
do.
year.
I love, love is a strong word.
You love Aaron
I just
Savali.
didn't hate him like you did.
I don't know. The Cubs have some stuff to them. There's no doubt.
So much fun to watch. All right, let's move on to our next series. Red Sox versus Braves. Game 1, Red Sox win 5-1. The Braves' lone run came in the first, courtesy of Matt Olson, and that was it. Trevor Story opened the scoring for the Red Sox in the fourth with a 2-run shot, his seventh, and then Abraham Toro and Rafael Devers brought home the rest. Giolito, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned, but it was the bullpen that really locked it down for Boston. Move to Game 2, Braves exact revenge, win 5-0. This was the Spencer Schwellenbach show. On his birthday, he threw 6 1/3, shutout baseball, no walks, 11 strikeouts, while touching 100 miles an hour. The offense came to play for Atlanta, highlighted by home runs from Austin Riley and Ronald Acuna Jr. Move to Game 3, Red Sox win 3-1 and win the series, and this time it was the Garrett Crochet show, as he threw 7 innings, a 1-run ball with a season-high 12 strikeouts, lowering his ERA to 1.98. He is the second Red Sox pitcher ever to pitch to a sub-2 ERA in his first 13 starts for the Red Sox. The other, Tim Wakefield. Trevor Story's 3-run double in the top of the first was the deciding blow, but shout out Marcell Ozuna for his 10th home run of the season. I love Garrett Crochet
Yeah.
because it almost seems like, Garrett Crochet on the White Sox, was sitting 97, 98. I mean, he was just blowing gas, but he's only going 4 innings, so why the hell not? But it looks like he is making a concerted effort to be an innings eater. Like, I think he's gunning for 200 innings this year because it's a much, like, he's 95 to 96, and the stuff is still great, but it doesn't look quite as powerful, but it's still yielding incredible results. I mean, he leads Major League Baseball in starts over 100 pitches, right? Alex Cora just kind of leaves him out there, and it's working. And it's
Yeah.
really cool to kind of see this. Garrett Crochet feels a little old fashioned to me in a way, where it's like, oh, he's at 93 pitches.
He can go out there.
99% of pitchers are getting taken out of that game, even if they're
Yeah.
pitching well. No, he goes 105. He goes 110. Right? There's not a lot of pitchers in Major League Baseball that do that consistently. And a guy coming off 146 innings where you thought, is he going to be able to make it all season as a starter? He leads baseball and starts over 100 pitches with a 1.98 ERA and 84 innings. And now he is tied with Mackenzie Gore for the MLB lead in strikeouts.
Yeah.
Crochet is everything that we thought he was going to be.
Absolutely. He leads Major League Baseball in innings pitched by 4. He has started one more game than anybody else. So in terms of innings per start, guys like Framber Valdez and Wheeler are technically ahead of Crochet, but Crochet, as we enter a new week of Major League Baseball, is the Major League innings king, and you mentioned he's the American League strikeout king right now. So I don't see a reason that that is not the case by the end of the season. This guy tapered off last year to the point where I think he can be full steam ahead this year. And I feel like the Red Sox wouldn't pay him if they knew that he wasn't going to be full steam ahead this year. I think that we're gearing up for Garrett Crochet's Cy Young push, which is cool. And it's going to be near impossible to take it away from Scooble. But Crochet's going to give it his best shot.
My last takeaway on this series is that at what, like, okay, no, never mind. I was going to have my take. I don't even know what to talk about with the
You were
Braves
going to say, at what point do you get nervous about Atlanta because
because
they're
I'm
in
not
fourth
nervous.
place in the NL
They're
East?
still a good team. It's just like, I mean, how many more bad Michael Harris at bats do I have to watch?
Uh,
I can't believe he's
I
bad.
I understand. The one that like sets off all the alarms for me is Smith Shawver going down. Like
Yeah,
that's the one that is just a gut punch
yeah.
right now.
And Elder can fill in, and Elder's still a fine
Yeah, sure,
pitcher,
but he's
right?
not Smith Shawver.
No, he's not Smith Shawver, but it's just damn it. I mean, this roster is too damn good to be 27 and
And
31.
and that is why they're going to go on a run where they win 15 of, 18, right? And they're right back in the thick of everything.
I
So
mean, I hope so.
I just don't know when that's going to come. I hope they don't. I mean,
Hope they don't.
oh, dude, Fish run into him in like 2
True.
weeks.
True, the Fish fam.
I
Yes.
hope they don't.
Are you telling Braves fans to go screw themselves?
Absolutely, Fish fan.
The dude in the Atlanta Braves fans, I want you to look on YouTube. Look at the man. The man with the fedora is telling you to go F yourself.
Not true. I hope the Marlins sweep you. Fedora tip.
Braves fans, the man in the fedora can't stand you and wants all this smoke come Marlins versus Braves. Just saying.
Facts. Facts.
Move on to the next series.
Yep.
Rays versus Astros, game 1, 4-game set. This was a weird series. Crazy high scoring, then crazy low scoring. Rays win 13-3. If you can believe it, it was a 3-3 tie after 6 innings. But then things just got out of hand, highlighted by home runs from Yainer Diaz and Jose Altuve. Then the floodgates opened. Rays scored 5 in the 7th, highlighted by Junior Caminero's 11th home run of the season, then 5 more in the 8th. Every single Rays starter had a hit, including new Ray, Matt Thaiss. Junior Caminero, though, went 3 for 6 with 6 RBIs. Game 2, Astros win 2-1, and this was the Framber Valdez show, throwing the first complete game shutout under 85 pitches since Kyle Hendricks back in 2019. 9 innings, 1 earned, 3 hits, 9 Ks. His ERA is down to 3.12. He's just so good. Jose Caballero opened the scoring in this one, homering in the first inning. And then Zach DeCenzo tied it up in the eighth. And then Yainer Diaz walked it off with his 7th home run of the season. Move to game 3. Rays win 16-3. The Astros actually had a lead in this one as Jeremy Pena homered in the first and then again in the third. But if he wasn't in the lineup, the score might have been 16-0. Junior freaking Caminero have a day. He went 4 for 5 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Yandy Diaz, Jake Mangum, and Josh Lowe also homered, and all 9 starters had at least 1 hit. But Colton Gordon wasn't terrible. The starter for the Astros, it was the bullpen. Gordon allowed 4 runs through 5 innings. Rays let Zach Littell finish the game on 117 pitches. Talk about an old-fashioned complete game. He allowed 3 earned runs and 10 hits. Struck out 6. Complete game for Zach Littell. Moved to game 4. Astros win 1-0. Christian Walker drove home Jeremy Pena in the first, and that was it. Because Hunter Brown is he's a magician. I mean, 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 5 Ks. Did struggle with the walks, allowed 4, but that was like a bad start for him. Was 6 shutty, but he did have 4 walks. His ERA is down to 1.83. But Taj Bradley, I mean, unfortunately, his team just didn't score for him. He was awesome. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run allowed, but none of them were earned, and struck out 10. A split series between the Rays and the Astros. Rays win by 1 trillion, or the Astros win in a very low-scoring game. Framber is the man. But what we were talking about again in the Discord, and someone in our Just Baseball show chat was like, hey, Peter, why did your dumbass bet Jack Will Wagner versus Junior Caminero? I mean, that was
Silly goose
like the worst
behavior.
bet I've ever made. Actually, the worst bet I've ever made, I bet Rays money line
When
that
Detmers threw a no-hitter.
when Detmers threw a no-hitter and they lost 12-0. That's the worst bet of all time. This is approaching that, though.
So couple of takeaways from this series. Number 1, I win, you lose.
Correct.
Number 2, I thought the Rays letting Littell get the complete game, it took him 117 pitches, was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. I don't think they would do that for anybody else in the rotation aside from Zach Littell. They're like, you know what? You go do you, man. Let's go hunt a CG. So he got it done. And then number 3, that was as impressive of a starting pitching performance as we've seen outside of the Skubal start this year
Framber.
for Framber Valdez.
Hmm.
I mean, I want to pull up pitches by inning for Framber Valdez. Do you have it in front of you?
Pitches by inning? No, I don't have it in front of me. But
We tweeted it.
yeah,
We tweeted it. I'll find it right now. But Framber Valdez, like what I really wanted to say about this one is he and Skubal are the only 2 guys in baseball I can comprehend even coming close to this. A complete game in 83 pitches. Like that's absurd. Absolutely absurd.
when you get Framber in the windup and you aren't getting anybody on base and he gets into a rhythm, right? His kind of rockabye baby type of delivery,
Next level.
he just gets in the zone and you're done. He is, once Framber gets rolling, it's so much fun to watch because it's just ground ball out, strikeout, strikeout, ground ball out, strikeout, ground ball out, strikeout. And it's just clockwork and you're done with the inning in 8 pitches.
Well, and it's
This
not
was
like
the
the
perfect
strikeout.
example.
And it's not like the strikeout is on the 7th pitch of the at
No,
bat.
it's
Like
on an 0-2 pitch. It's on an 0-2 curveball and you're fishing.
Yeah, 0-2 or 1-2. I've got it now. Framber Valdez pitches by inning in this. First inning, 8. Second, 11. Then 9, 9, 9, 7, 9, 11, 10. So his high in pitches in a single inning was 11, which he did twice, and he was at fewer than 10 pitches in 6 of his 9 innings.
And when he's rolling like that, you'd think, well, what are the Rays doing? Take some pitches. Why are you? No, with Framber, that's like you can't, because when he's rolling, you want to attack early, because more often than not, he's gonna give you the sinker early. But when he's feeling it with his breaking balls and you go down, you are done.
You have no
Because
chance.
You're gonna get a better painted sinker that you can't touch, or a curveball that you're gonna think is starting, at the top of the batter's box or at the eye level, and then just ends up in the dirt. So you don't want to fall behind. So you're trying to get to that first pitch. But when he's rolling, even the sinker that he's throwing for strike just to get ahead 0-1, you're still grounding it out But that's your only chance when he's rolling too, so you have to go after it.
So the sinker has a 10% whiff rate. Okay. The average launch angle against it is 90 or is 2 degrees, pardon. So 2 degrees. It is a ground ball machine, and opponents are slugging 336 against it. But the thing that jumps out to your point, you got to hunt the changeup because the curveball has a 43% whiff rate, and opponents are slugging 260 against it.
And
So
think
you
about
might have a shot against the sinker. You have no shot against the curveball.
what's the percentage, how many changeups does he throw? Because you can't hunt.
15%, that's
Yeah,
the only pitch you can hunt in his arsenal, and 15% you're going to be dead to rights if you're hunting a pitch that he goes to that little.
he's throwing 100 pitches and 15 of them are changeups. So yeah, if you get a changeup and you're able to sit back on it, like
Be ready for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe, but you're not thinking about his changeup. You're thinking about his sinker. You're thinking about his curveball. So when then he does throw the changeup, it works more often than it doesn't. He's a wizard. He's so fun to watch too. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch.
He's great.
All right, let's move to Tigers versus Royals divisional series. This is a good one. Tigers win 7-5 in game one. Riley Green and Bobby Witt Jr. traded home runs in the first, and then Dylan Dingler hit a 2-run shot in the second to put Detroit ahead. The Royals kept battling, but never even tied it up, though. But they kept fighting, and Spencer Torkelson's home run in the eighth was the dagger. Casey Mize did struggle. 3 and a third, 8 hits, 3 earned, 4 Ks, but his ERA is still at 2.82. Seth Lugo also struggled. 3 and a third, 4 earned, but his ERA is still 3.45. Game two, Royals win 1-0. If you love elite pitching, this game was for you, as both Michael Wacha and Tarek Skubal were phenomenal. Wacha lost a no-hitter in the seventh, tossing 7 innings, shutout baseball with 6 Ks. His ERA is down below 3. Michael Wacha at 2.88. Of course, Skubal also threw a 7 inning shutout, allowing 2 hits, no walks, and struck out 7. His ERA is at 2.26. The lone run came on a Vinny P. RBI single in the eighth. Game three, Tigers win 1-0. Another elite pitching matchup, and the only run scored in this game was on a wild pitch from Chris Bubich. Speaking of Bubich, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 9 punchies. His ERA is at 1.43. 1.43, leading Major League Baseball. Kyle Montero escaped with 7 hits over 4 2/3 without giving up a run, and then chaos came in and shut it down, only allowing 2 hits the rest of the game. I'm going to say the same thing I said with the Cubs. Another weekend roundup, another Tigers win.
Yeah. Chris Bubich is fascinating to me because you think he'd be good in shorter spurts coming off of an elbow surgery. Chris Bubich is fifth in Major League Baseball in innings pitched. Did you have that on your bingo card?
Mm. His breaking balls are so good. I mean, all of his secondaries are phenomenal. His changeup opponents are hitting 106 against it. His sweeper opponents are hitting 175 against it. And he can get swings and misses with all 4 of his main offerings, right? He'll throw a sinker about 5% of the time, and that's just his ground ball pitch. It's got a -2 launch angle against. All of his pitches, 28% whiff rate or above. Fastball up in the zone. He's pinpoint with it. Change up low, sweeper wherever he wants, slider wherever he wants. This is just a guy with very solid stuff that just needed to stay healthy. And now, even as a Chris Bubich believer, the guy's been calling for his breakout now for a while. Not even I could have imagined this. This is like as perfect Chris Bubich maybe has ever thrown in his life. Like, I wonder if we interviewed him. I was like, do you feel better right now than maybe when you probably dominated in high school? Like, do you just feel untouchable? Because that's what it feels like when you watch him. It's efficient. There's strikeouts in there. There's plenty of ground balls in there too, right? Guys don't hit the ball hard. He's got a 26% strikeout rate, 44% ground ball rate, but he's gotten more ground outs in the past. Like, this guy is, Reagan's goes down, and who steps up? Bubich. The Royals just, they pitch, they pitch, they pitch, they pitch.
I've got Bubich having one better stop in his pro career. He probably felt better for the YD Red Sox in 2017 between his sophomore and junior year at Stanford in the Cape
Mm.
Cod Baseball League. 6 starts at a 1.65 ERA, 32 and 2/3. He K'd 41 and walked 7, allowed 23 hits.
Oh,
That's
this is
probably,
way better.
I mean, so the ERA is better. The Ks per nine is worse than when he
75
was
innings? 75 innings at a 1.43 in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no, I mean, he probably feels better, but like YD, that was cool. He was coming off of a high 2 ERA at Stanford that year. Parlayed that into 15 starts at a 2.6 ERA his next time at Stanford before he went 40th overall. But yeah, like it's either his 2017 summer on the Cape, which probably featured a lot of Cape Cod Creamery and Pirates Cove golf course, mini golf course, but this probably feels better.
Scooble's also pretty good.
Yeah, he is. He's nasty.
I
There's
keep going back
nothing
and forth.
new. There's nothing new to add.
I keep going back and forth. Arm and I were talking about it. Like, who's the best pitcher in baseball? Is it Skeens? Is it Scooble? Is it
It's
Wheeler? I go.
Scooble. It's Scooble.
Is it? I mean,
Yeah.
you've been the Skeens guy.
No,
Like,
I mean, dude, like, come on. Like,
this is
it's seven scoreless against the Royals. And I understand the Royals are not a great offensive team, but like seven scoreless
on
is
the road.
rinse and repeat right now.
I know.
Like Skeens is dominating, flooding pitching ninja, 7 innings, a 1 run ball. Like that's his rinse and repeat. Scoobles is complete game shutout into 7 shutout, and we're kind of upset we didn't get 2 more innings.
He just goes so long in these games because it's like in the sixth inning he hasn't allowed a run yet, and he's at 68 pitches, and
His
you're like,
his
oh my God.
changeup is one of the best pitches I've ever seen.
And he's another guy where you have to hunt early. If you go down, you're done. You're done. And even early, like what are you gonna go hit 100 for the left side, perfectly placed? That's your 0 pitch, 100 wherever he wants. He's the Tigers are fantastic.
Can I
Love
ask
them.
you, is that a hot take that I just spewed out? Like his changeup's one of the best pitches I've ever seen. Like
No,
I don't think it's a hot take.
no. Um, Best changeup I've ever seen is Pedro.
Is Johan. For me, it's
Or
Johan
Johan.
Santana.
Johan is a great answer. I think it was Pedro, but Johan is a fantastic answer. It's there. I mean, like,
It's different because Scoobles is a diver versus Johans was like this. Oh, it looks the same as a fastball. It's just 15 miles an hour slower.
is Devin Williams' changeup better? Not right now, but at the peak airbender, is that a better changeup?
I
Trevor
think relievers.
Hoffman?
I think relievers
Yeah,
are a different conversation
I agree.
entirely.
I think you're totally spot on with that because you could say, well, Trevor Hoffman, he had an incredible changeup, which led to 500 saves. But yeah, I agree. If we're looking at starting pitchers, the first two that come to my mind, Pedro and Johan. Outside of that, it might be Scooble.
Yeah,
Can you think of anybody? I mean, I could think of other great changeups. They're just not as good as Scooble's.
I can think of great changeups. We got to see him do it for 3 more years, but I'm ready. Like that's a changeup. That's
Changeup.
it's an all time changeup.
Guardians versus Angels. Progressive Field, Game 1. Angels went 4-1. Guardians didn't score until the ninth as Jose Soriano tossed 6 shutty to lower his ERA to 3.41. Joe Adell opened the scoring with an RBI single, then Jorge Soler did the same in the seventh and hit his 8th home run of the season in the ninth. Nolan Jones provided Cleveland its lone run. Luis Ortiz wasn't bad. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned, 5 Ks. His ERA is down to 4.40. But when you only score one, you're not going to win many games. Game 2, they scored a lot more than one. They won 7-5. Angels, though, got out to a 4-0 lead after 4 innings on home runs from Yohan Moncada, Taylor Ward, and Joe Adell. And it felt like this game was kind of headed for the same story as the first game, but Cleveland had other ideas. Nolan Jones' 2-run triple got it going, and then Mike Trout in his first game back smacked a double to take one of those runs back. But then Jose Ramirez homered in the fifth, then Stephen Kwan homered in the sixth, and then Carlos Santana homered in the seventh to tie it, and then a Gabriel Arias 2-run double was the difference. We moved to game 3. Guardians win 4-2. Gavin Williams show. And although, you look at the box score and you see 6 innings, 1 hit, 2 earned, he was way better than that. He carried a no-hitter into the sixth when, with 2 outs, Zach Neto singled to ruin it. He struck out 6. Everything was working. It was like, when I was watching Gavin Williams, I'm like, please, could you just do this all the time? This is exactly what we all thought you could be. Guardians got out to a 4-0 lead after 4, so he could just cruise, highlighted by Jose Ramirez's 11th home run of the year. He's just, I mean, what's there left to say about Jose Ramirez at this point? He's hitting 327 with 11 home runs, 14 stolen bases, an OPS near 950. It's just rinse and repeat with him. Elite production in all phases of the game. The counting stats might not be quite there for the Hall of Fame, but I know that when we're talking about the best players of my generation as a 27-year-old, Jose Ramirez will be on that list.
Yes,
Agreed.
agreed.
Because what is there left to add at this point with Ramirez? He's a
Uh,
great defender. He's a great base runner. He's got power. He does everything on the baseball field.
I don't think there's anything to add. I think it's just a matter of doing it time and time and time and time and time again. Like but that's how we judge greatness in Major League Baseball. You just do it over the course of however many years. You know what I mean? Like Nolan Arenado is amazing defensively, but he's the best defensively because he did it 10 years in a row. So it's just years that's limiting Jose Ramirez at this point.
And again, like he's 32 years old and he's been doing it now for 7, 8 years. And I think it's going to be interesting when we compare the careers of Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado, and Jose Ramirez, who will end up having the best career of all of them. My money is on Jose Ramirez. Who's your money on?
Interesting.
Who's your money on?
Machado probably because Machado's just hitting.
Yeah, but Jose Ramirez is a better hitter than Machado.
I know.
But Machado's a better defender, but like not by much. And Jose Ramirez is a wizard on the bases.
Let me just check the WAR total. So Machado, as it stands right now, is at 59.6 and he's 32. 59.6 and he's 32. Jose is 54 and he's 32. Arenado seems like he's going to finish behind everybody, 57 and he's 34. I'll go Machado 1, Jose 2, Arenado 3.
I think it's fair. I think Ramirez catches him just because he does so much on the field, and I think Machado, is I don't know if he's going to age as well as Jose Ramirez will, but we'll see. It's going to be a great debate when we talk about the best third baseman from our generation. Those three, and I think Jose Ramirez ends up taking it. So
Yeah.
before I get to Brewers versus Phillies, let's take another break. Next series up, Brewers versus Phillies. Game one, Brewers win 6-2. The story here, the combo of DL Hall and Quinn Priester. Hall started the game with 3 no-hit innings, then turned it over to Priester, who tossed 6 innings of 2-run ball, but he got 17 ground ball outs. Brewers got out to a 2-0 lead. Schwarber grabbed one back, but then Christian Yelich said goodnight with an opposite field 3-run shot. Castellanos hit a home run late, but then Yelich homered again, his 12th of the year, and the game was over. Game two, Brewers destroy them 17-7. Brewers got out to a 12-1 lead after 4, and then 17-1 after 6. 4-0 after the first, as Rhys Hoskins welcomed himself back to Philly with a 3-run shot. An 8-run fourth inning for Milwaukee. Everyone's pitching in, including yet another Rhys Hoskins home run. Jackson Chourio also homered late, but at least for Philly, Alec Bohm and Marsh homered. Move to game 3. Brewers win 5-2. That's 7 in a row and a sweep of Philly in Citizens Bank Park. Phillies got out to a 2-0 lead, and then it all came crashing down. A 3-run 7th inning was the difference for Milwaukee, highlighted by a clutch 2-run double from Jake Bauers to give them the lead. Ranger Suarez stayed hot, only allowing 2 earned through 6, but the Phillies bullpen bit them again. Quintana was solid, 5 innings, 2 earned. His ERA is at 2.77. How about those Brewers?
So Christian Yelich looks healthy. That was my big takeaway from this one. Yelich in his last 2 games. Let me pull this puppy up here. Do you have what he did over his last 2 games?
Well, the
I've
problem
got it right
is
now. Yeah.
yeah, he looks healthy, and then in the last game, he got hit on the hand and had to leave the game. Hopefully, he doesn't miss too much time, but I agree with you. Up until that point, he looked great.
He looked amazing. Yelich at a 2 for 5 day with a homer, obviously a walk-off homer against the Red Sox on May 27th. And then his first 2 games of this series, 3 for 5 with 2 homers and then 4 for 6 with an RBI. Like, if they got Yelich swinging the bat like that, Milwaukee can not make this a lost season because I'm not ready to say they can contend for a wild card. I'm not ready to slap anything on Milwaukee right now. I will say I'm so happy for Quinn Priester to find this role. Ground ball machine. He was throwing a four-seamer that just wasn't working in the upper minors. And, like he needed to make a change. He wanted to make a change. He finally made a change. And, like, guess what? He found it with Boston. Boston clearly liked something that he was starting to do. And then he's found that new gear with Milwaukee. I hope Priester has found a home and Brewers fans take him in and love him because number one, he's a joy. He's an awesome dude. Number two, he's fun to watch when he's going right, man. He hits that level of cruise control where everybody's getting involved and they're getting in on the fun. I greatly enjoy watching a Quinn Priester game.
It felt like I was watching a right-handed Framber. Now he makes more mistakes than Framber. He's not nearly as nasty as Framber, but it's one of those starts where you're watching a guy throw a sinker and they just cannot put it in the air. Like it's
Yeah,
just ground out, strikeout, ground out,
yeah.
ground. It's like one of those where you just kind of get into a rhythm and he goes so quickly and then the game is just over. It's also a very relaxed delivery, looks very easy. He's kind of just humming him in there and Philly was just grounding out, grounding out, grounding out. And to your point about you don't know if you want to stamp compete for a wild card, I will. I
Mm,
mean, this Brewers team won the division last year and it's a lot of the same gang. Woodruff is going to come back. The rotation again, it's like these combinations of openers with decent starters and like this DL Hall Quinn Priester combo, which I'm really loving. Like when DL Hall is throwing it well, like he is nasty. There's a reason he was traded for Corbin Burns. Quinn Priester as well. Quintana just continues to shove as well. And then the bullpen has not been good this year. The defense started off weirdly poorly for Milwaukee, but seven in a row, you're starting to see the same Brewers that we saw last year, and they're not going to win every single game. They might as well just continue the streak. Who knows? But this is a good Brewers team. Like Chorio is going to be better. Yelich did not start off well and has looked better and better. Hopefully, the hand doesn't really bother him so much. Frelick is still a solid player. Bryce Terang is still a solid player. The defense has looked a lot better. It's bullpen, it's defense, it's timely hitting. This is the same Brewers team over the last 7 games that I saw last year. And if they can continue this, they can absolutely compete for a wild card. Like if the Brewers are playing this well, they are better than the Cardinals. They are better than the Reds. They're better than the Braves, obviously. Better than the Nationals. I think the Brewers are in that Giants range when they're playing like this, and that's competing for a wild card.
I don't like. I'm not ready to say better than the Braves. Again, like the Braves are melting my brain right now.
I'm ready to say it. I mean, why not? Like maybe the Braves prove us wrong. Great, sure. Not now. They don't deserve to be in this conversation just because like we think maybe they aren't. They aren't. So
Yeah,
no,
but
I'm
just wait
definitely
till they
going
get hot,
Brewers.
man.
Yeah, I'll wait till they get hot and then I'll start gushing about it. But until then, give me the Brewers.
Cool.
I mean, the Brewers haven't even played great baseball, and they have a way better record than them. I mean, the Brewers have been underwhelming this year, and the Brewers are 32 and 28.
Yeah. So what about the Brewers that you just said does not stand for the Braves?
What do you mean by
They
that?
haven't been playing great baseball.
I'm
Now,
saying that the
like,
Brewers have not been playing great baseball, and they're still 4 games over 500. Now, I know they've won 7 in a row. That's a big reason why,
yeah, 100%.
but this has not looked even close to what they were last year, and they're still 4 games up. Like, if they start to play better Brewers baseball like they did all of last year, this team's going to go on a run and absolutely compete for the wild card.
Yeah,
And it's just tough because the National League is loaded. Like the Brewers would be like the fourth best team in the American League.
I know.
So yeah, I I'm a big fan of what I'm watching for Milwaukee. It's what I saw last year, in which I bet on the Brewers to win the division last year at 8-1. I loved watching Brewers baseball, and they're not quite as good as they were last year, but they're coming. Let's go to Cardinals versus Rangers. Game one, Rangers win 11-1. Jack Leiter threw 5 2/3 of shutout baseball with 6 Ks, and the Rangers put up 11 runs with Marcus Semien going 4 for 4 on the day. Jack McMullen said the season could turn around tomorrow. Coincidence? I think not. Langford and Semien homered. Josh Young and Sam Haggerty both had 3 hits and 3 RBIs. It was beautiful. But game two, it all came crashing down. Cardinals win 2-0. They got dismantled by Sonny Gray as he threw 7 shutty with 10 Ks and only 4 hits allowed. His ERA is down to 3.65. Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras provided the RBIs for St. Louis, and Mason Wynn had 2 hits. Patrick Corbin, good again. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts. His ERA is still 3.71. Game three, though, back to the Rangers being back. 8-1 win. Cardinals actually had a lead in this one. scoring the first run courtesy of Wilson Contreras. But then the Rangers have started to pile on, highlighted by a huge Josh Smith day as he went 3 for 5 with a home run, a double, and 4 RBIs. Jacob deGrom was Jacob deGrom. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts. His ERA is at 2.34. He's just, I mean, he's a problem. Eric Fedde was good, but the bullpen wasn't. Fedde only allowed 2 earned through 6 innings. Rangers win a series at home against a good Cardinals team, putting up really good performances. Marcus Semien, Jack Leiter, Jacob deGrom, Jack. Are we back?
Could be. Give it
Could
another
be.
week and a half. Baseball's a long season, but I like the idea that we could be entertaining the possibility of somewhat being kind of back.
So you got to stamp it now. You saw one series. You said it could turn around
You
tomorrow.
know
They
what?
won 11 to
Facts.
1.
Right,
Facts.
hang
You're
the
in
banner right now.
right
Hang it
now.
right now.
Right
If you
now.
don't, I'm going to be upset right now.
We actually got a lot of good comments from Discord kind of about the Rangers, and I want to shout out one because remember we asked for comments. This comes to us from BBT Treasures in our Discord. Rangers fan here. If we are 500 at the deadline, I think they look at where our injuries are and if the offense is trending up in certain metrics and will add if heading upward. I think an easy tune-up gets us back in the hunt. If not, they probably trade DeGrom. He said back to the Mets. I'm sure he's joking. With Eovaldi hitting the IL, it would make sense that if we're at 500, it's from the offense trending up. I know this isn't a popular opinion, but Jock was a pitch grenade in the middle of our lineup. I think we
Pitch
need to.
grenade.
I'd love that. I think this we need to call that a failure and move on. I totally understand what he's saying because if the reason they're at 500 is because their offense is trending up, yes, they should add. But if they just happen to kind of fall into 500, he's a little bit more worried. And I think it was a really great point.
Too bad they're already hanging the banner.
Yeah, too bad they already won everything.
Everything. They made a Champions League for baseball and they won that.
Anything on the Cardinals?
No, I don't think so.
Not a great series from them.
No, but
Like,
like
really,
that's
the only
okay.
reason they won a game is because Sonny Gray was a dog.
Yeah, Sonny is a dog, and Sonny's going to be a dog for another half decade. I'm convinced about that. And it's going to be in St. Louis for one more year, right? And then he might re-up with St. Louis, but this feels like a kind of guy that's going to age so well. And he could get away with throwing 90, 89, 90.
So I gave you a lot of credit. Junior versus Wagner, Sonny Gray
Yeah.
versus Gallen.
Yeah, like you can dance on my grave a little bit.
I'm not going to dance on your grave. I just wanted to bring it up. See what your thoughts
Yeah,
were.
there are a couple others. How's Bellinger versus Parker Meadows doing? Is it
Well, that's
okay?
not fair. Parker Meadows hasn't even played
Yeah, but I mean, listen, you
true.
took it.
Before he got hurt. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, we got to go look back at our list. I know they're keeping track of it in the Discord.
How's the
Uh,
Isak Paredes Naylor thing going like a year after? Because I
I
won
know.
last year.
And like Naylor had a great game. We're going to talk about that game later. Brady's has been great. They're just going to battle till the end of time. And
It's going to be
we'll have
awesome.
to see like the career slashlight when we're doing this episode 5 trillion. When they're both retired, we'll just be like, I bet Paredes has like point 0.2 more WAR.
Yeah,
Like when it's all said and done.
probably.
All right, let's move on to the next series. Next series up, Twins versus Next series up, Twins versus Mariners, game 1, and this was an epic series. Twins win 12-6 in an incredible comeback for Minnesota. Crazy game. Started with back-to-back home runs from Cal Raleigh, who just hits a home run every day, and Randy Arozarena. In the 4th, Trevor Larnach answered back with a home run of his own, and then in the 7th, Willie Castro homered to narrow the Mariners' lead to 4-3. Cal Raleigh homered again, his 21st. No catcher in MLB history has had 20 home runs before the end of May, and he had 21. Felt like the game was over now that it was 6-3, and they had Andres Munoz coming in. Nope. Twins blitz Munoz for 3 runs, highlighted by a 2-run shot from Willie Castro again, and we go to extras. Then the Twins put up a 6 spot in the 10th, highlighted by a 2-run home run from Carlos Correa. Game 2. Mariners win 5-4 in 11 innings. Twins got out to an early 3-0 lead, highlighted by a 2-run shot from Matt Wallner. Mariners battled back first with yet another Cal Raleigh home run. And then J.P. Crawford gave Seattle the lead in the 7th with a 2-run shot. Trevor Larnach tied it up on an RBI single in the 9th, and we are headed to extras. There were no runs until the bottom of the 11th, where Cole Young dribbled one to first, and Miles Mastrobuoni just made it in before the tag. Mariners win. Also in this game, Cole Young got his first MLB hit. Game 3, Mariners win 2-1 in another thriller. There was no runs until the 7th. This was a pitcher's duel between Luis Castillo and Chris Paddock. Cal Raleigh, again, opened the scoring with his 23rd home run of the year. He's on pace to hit 65 of them. Harrison Bader tied it up with a sac fly in the 9th, but then Randy Rosarina sent Julio Rodriguez home after he stole second and advanced to third on a bad throw. Luis Castillo threw 6 shutout innings, lowering his ERA to 3.03, but Chris Paddock's start cannot go unnoticed, even though his team lost. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 10 punchies. His ERA is at 3.58. Another guy, what's there left to say about Cal Raleigh right now?
Best catcher in baseball, hands down, and he's not giving that title up anytime soon. I
Yep.
say 5 years. Cal Raleigh's the best catcher in baseball for the next 5 years. And
He
we keep going back and forth like, oh, is it William Contreras? Is it Adley Rutschman? Is it Will Smith? Cal Raleigh's number one. And with how safe he is, knowing you're getting platinum glove defense and 30 homers at least, and now we're trending
yeah.
for 30 homers by the break, maybe 40 homers by the break. Cal Raleigh's the best catcher in baseball, and he will be for the next half decade.
The Marine Layer pod has been breaking down, his ascent to greatness really well. I'd make sure to go check out their podcast, especially obviously if you're a Mariners fan. Just comparing him to like Piazza, Pudge, Von
And
Rodriguez.
here's the big difference between Raleigh and Piazza that I want to make sure is abundantly clear. Piazza was a very bad defensive catcher.
Horrible.
Very bad.
But man, could he rake.
He could rake. But guess
Rake.
what? Raleigh's kind of doing Piazza stuff right now, and he's a
Yeah.
platinum glove winner.
Big dumper. Well, I mean, what's funny? I think Peyton tweeted this out. Interesting stat about Cal Raleigh. Let me pull it up for everybody real fast. So I think Peyton dropped it in. Yes, so 2025, Cal Raleigh is a catcher. He's hitting 302 with an 1194 OPS with 21 home runs. Cal Raleigh as a DH. Remember, this is this season. He's hitting 125 with a 475 OPS and 2 home runs. Get him behind the plate.
Dude's got to catch.
Isn't that weird?
Dude's got to catch, man. He feels good when he's catching. Cal Raleigh, by the way, just 28 years old. That was the best extension they could have possibly given out.
Oh, I
When
mean,
you,
perfect
I
timing.
mean, it's amazing. Like I'm so happy that they paid the man. He's awesome. Like he's quickly become one of my 5 favorite players in Major League Baseball. Like it's
Really?
Raleigh, it's Skubal, Walker Buehler, who
Skeens.
else?
Otto Lopez?
Skeens, and then yeah,
Eric
I,
Wagman?
I love Wags. I
Yeah.
love me some Wags. My partner on Marlins radio, the pregame host Steven Strom, got a T-shirt that he had Wagaman sign, and it was just on Amazon, and it says, "I love it when my wife lets me watch Eric Wagaman." Like it's a very funny shirt. So I
Anything
like that
else
one.
on this series? I mean, this was just a battle until the end. It felt like two teams that were almost the exact same skill level, just battling every single
Yeah,
time.
I love watching Seattle, and I like watching Minnesota. I don't love watching Minnesota. I'll tell you what I love watching. I love watching Carlos Correa go about his business. Like that's something that I just found myself like we had a 4 o'clock game. They played a late game out west. I found myself on Saturday night just marveling at the way Carlos Correa plays shortstop. And I find myself doing that on the condensed games too. And when they're out west and I can watch them, like I just love watching Correa go about his business at short. And does that mean that he's the best shortstop defender in Major League Baseball? No. Has he been at one point in his career? Yes. There's just something about the way he handles his business at shortstop that I think is like it glues me to the TV.
He and Seager kind of similar in that breath.
Yeah,
Correa's
I like
better.
Correa more than Seager, to
I
be
agree
honest,
with
but they're
you.
big-bodied shortstops. I like watching Seager hit more than
Just
Correa.
pros. Just pros.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the nth degree of when you were like, oh, that guy's a pro. Seager and Semyon, or excuse me, Seager and Correa, the way they operate the shortstop position. But I agree with you. Correa is just a step above on defense,
Correa's got some cachet behind him. Yeah.
especially with his cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to Nationals versus Dbacks. Crazy series. Game 1, Nationals win 9-7. Both Jake Irvin and Merrill Kelly did not have a good day, as it was 6-6 after the third inning. James Wood homered, Josh Bell did as well, and it was a full team effort on the Cleveland side, spraying hits just everywhere. Or excuse me, not Cleveland, Arizona. Then, no scoring until the sixth when Nate Lowe took the lead on a broken bat single that drove in two, and then Robert Hassel III drove home the game's final run. Moved to game two. Nationals went 11-7. This game was over as soon as it started. The Nationals put up 9 runs before Brandon Pfaadt was able to record an out in the first inning. The record is 10 before an out in the first inning by the 2003 Red Sox. Pfaadt's ERA went from 3.90 to 5.05 in one start. And it wasn't on home runs. Every single player in the Nats lineup had at least one hit, 4 players having multiple hits. It was just a merry-go-round. Dbacks kept fighting as Josh Naylor and Randall Grichuk both homered, but it just wasn't enough. This is a crazy stat. The Dbacks have now scored 6+ runs in 23 games so far. The record is 13-10 in those games.
Gee, that's tough.
Isn't that disgusting?
Yeah, the pitching staff, especially with Martinez dealing with injury this year, has been abysmal and sucks for Burns, and you're about to get to that.
Yeah. Game three, much calmer 3-1 win for the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks put up 3 in the first inning, and that was all they ended up needing, highlighted by Geno Suarez's 16th home run of the season, a 2-run shot. He's also been awesome. But the story here is Corbin Burns. He was cruising, but he started to kind of dip in velocity. Right?
Kinda? He was 91.
No, but I'm saying it was kind of starting to
Okay,
dip,
sure,
and then we
sure.
get to the 5th inning where he's throwing 91 miles an hour. He gave up a hit to C.J. Abrams on a 91-mile-an-hour cutter and then asked for the trainers to come out. He was then removed, and he's going to go get an MRI on his elbow. It could be bad. And a clip that's been going viral on social media where people are trying to lip read. Now, did he exactly say this? I have no idea. But it did look like he said, "My elbow's done. It's dead."
Yeah. So Dalton Feely grabbed that video, does great stuff over at John Boy. That was kind of what it looked like. I saw a report that said inflammation is the initial diagnosis for burns. They're hoping they avoid structural damage, but obviously you need second and third opinions on that.
Yeah. I
So
hope
we'll
that was
see.
just a bad lip reading. Like, I hope that was not what he said.
Yeah, but I mean, it looked pretty spot on. Now,
Yeah.
granted, like if you're given a transcript, you know what to look for. You know what I mean? So it's
True.
like you can see a lot of that, and that's why bad lip reading had a whole YouTube account for the NFL and all that.
True.
Yeah, a couple things. Burns, that would suck if he's out for a while. And if it is inflammation, they want to let that subside in a forearm. He is their marquee free agent signing. This is going to be a month at least, and you hope there's nothing structural. Gallen has not been throwing well. Thanks for reminding me 7 minutes ago, Peter. But there's really like nothing good going for this giant or for this Diamondback staff right now. Um, Fought, great tweet from Corbin Carroll enthusiast at Corlec Karmas on X. Someone said Brandon Fought threw the first yes hitter in baseball history instead of no hitter, yes hitter.
Just everyone.
Everyone hit.
That is a great
Um,
tweet.
I was on here. I was a little shy about lauding the Diamondbacks extending Fought when they did at the beginning of the year, right? I thought that was a little bit of a scary extension because he was a career 5 ERA guy coming into this year, and he's thrown very well. And I don't want you to think that all 5 ERAs are created equal because this is not a 5 ERA that should measure up against another pitcher's 5 ERA where they allow, 4 runs in 6 innings each time they toe
It
the
was
rubber.
just 3.90 before he
He
went.
was just 3.9. But at the end of the day, like we were talking about this guy being awesome. Oh, he's awesome. He doesn't have a blemish on his record. And it was a 3.9. It's not like it was a 3.1. Like Fought in his career is a 5 ERA guy right now. And I just thought it was a little weird to pay a guy that's been a 5 ERA guy. And as we check in, 12 starts in, is a 5 ERA guy.
Well, because I think I understand the reason they were doing it, right? In the minor leagues, he led all pitchers in
Yeah,
strikeouts.
but his debut was batting practice. And guess what
Correct.
Saturday was?
Correct. But when you were watching Brandon Pfaadt, in his rookie year, he was very hit or miss, clearly wasn't ready yet. And then in 2024 he looked better. And I thought, and the underlying metrics would agree, that 4.71 ERA that he put up in 2024 wasn't real, that he was going to improve on that this year, right? His stuff plus was better than it was in his rookie year. His location plus was better, ultimately giving him a better pitching plus. I know you don't like me to dive
Pitching plus. I rock
that
with
deep
pitching
into it,
plus.
but the reason I'm bringing those up is stuff plus is grades the physical characteristics of your pitch,
Yeah.
right? And people should like stuff plus. Why? All it's telling you is how nasty this guy is. What's location plus? Command of the strike zone, right? They seem so fancy, but in reality, they're actually really good stats to look at. Eno Sarris's model on Fangraphs, he does obviously incredible work. And I'm looking at that all the time. And again, the reason I bring this up is Brandon Pfaadt's stuff plus fell off the table this season. His location plus was much worse too. So the stuff fell off. The command wasn't quite there, but he was able to maintain a 3.90 ERA. That's why I faded him. I was like, this isn't going to last. Now, did I think they were going to put up 9 runs before he got an out? Absolutely not. But this start is kind of all of the regression that he was already kind of due this season. And it just hit him all in one start. But this one start is not just a blip in the radar. This is going to continue to be a
This has
problem.
happened before.
Yes, this is
I'm not
this is
saying
an
like
ongoing
eight
thing.
runs and no outs has happened before, but like this has happened before. The blow up has happened
But what
before.
I'm saying is this season he has looked worse than he has in 2024 or in 2023 based on the stuff profile and his command of that stuff within the zone. And then this year he was really lucky to maintain a 3.90 while the previous year he was very unlucky to have a
Yeah.
4.71.
And I adhere to FIP. I adhere to FIP, fielding
You
independent
adhere to
pitching,
it?
and I adhere to it.
I like that.
I understand that Fott's ERA was probably not emblematic of the way he threw last year. It was 181 and two-thirds innings at a 4.70, your point, but it was a 3.6 FIP.
Yep.
But this year, like it's a 5.05 ERA at a 5.03 FIP. Like
Yeah. This is
this
what
is
he
how
deserves
things are
to be
going
right
right now. This
now.
is what's going on right now when you take defense out of the equation, and he's got a good infield defense behind him. So I don't know. It's tough, and I don't want to like say, "Oh, I told you so" about the extension, but it just felt a little premature for a guy that had a 5 ERA coming in and has a 5 ERA now.
But beyond Brandon Pfaadt and the extension, I mean, the Diamondbacks are, outside of the Braves, the most disappointing team in baseball this season.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Diamondbacks are under 500 at home. They're under 500 on the road. They're under 500 against teams over 500. They've won 2 of their last 10 games. In a division that is so good with the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants, they're just starting to fall further and further back. And hopefully Burns' injury is nothing and we can move past it and he'll be fine. But if Burns were to go down, this team could become a seller. I mean, I know historically they are a second half team, and mostly what I mean by historically is over the last 2 seasons, they've been much better in the second half. And maybe they have a second half turnaround. This offense is still legit, but nobody can pitch. Gallen ain't pitching. Kelly ain't pitching. Fott certainly ain't pitching. Eduardo Rodriguez ain't pitching. Ryan Nelson is like looking pretty good, but he can't be your guy. I mean, he can't be. He's a good pitcher, but when he's coming out of the bullpen and mop up duty, that's when he looks awesome. And like that's your best pitcher? Not good.
Not great.
Neither is that face you're making. Jeez.
I'm scrolling on Fangraphs, but the fedora is pulling up my eyebrows.
You ready to move to the last series?
Yes.
Can we just skip it?
Nope. Yamaha?
Hey, that was a great take. Let's just skip forward to Sunday Night Baseball. We don't have to talk about the first 2 games.
How about games 1 and 2, man? What happened with Will Warren on Saturday?
It's so funny. As soon as I clicked, open the box score, Max Muncy homered.
Funny.
Damn it. How
Funny.
about Ryan Yarbrough? 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 5 punchies, lowers his ERA to 2.83. Yamaha, 3 and 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned. Oh, that makes everything so much better. Yanks win
You're
the
kind of
series.
facts. You're absolutely going to retweet that quote card from Friday.
100%. Being like, suck it. No, all right. Yankees versus Dodgers, game 1. Dodgers win 8-5. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani traded home runs early, and then Trent Grisham and Austin Wells homered in the second. Then Goldschmidt homered in the third, and I'm texting all my friends from home. I am saying, look at this. I mean, I told you we were coming in for a revenge. Told you. Same story. 5-2 lead turned into 6-5 Dodgers. after a 4-run sixth, highlighted by yet another Shohei Ohtani freaking home run.
Do you hate
Max,
him?
yeah. Max Fried allowed 6 runs in 5 innings, the first time he's allowed more than 2 runs this season. Game two, Dodgers win 18-3 in probably the worst sports day for New York ever. And I have a stat for it later. Monumental beatdown. It was 10-0 after the second, 14 to frickin' 1 after 5 innings. They obliterated Will Warren. He was tagged for 7 earned before he completed 2 innings. Max Muncy and Kim homered. Edmund drove in a few on multiple RBI hits. Aaron Judge broke up the beatdown. Nothing like Aaron Judge in low leverage with another home run. But the Dodgers got right back to raking, highlighted by another Max Muncy home run. And then Andy Pajes joined in on the party with a home run of his own. But then low leverage Judge back again, broke up the beatdown with his second home run of the day. But then Dalton Rushing just hit another home run, his first of his career. Good for you, Dalton Rushing. Under all of this was a great Landon Knack start. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts. I mean, it was so bad, even Kike Hernandez threw a shutout inning. I mean, it was a disaster. And per
Yeah.
Opta Sports, New York City is the first metro area to ever have an MLB team and an NBA team each lose by 15 or more on the same day.
Hmm.
So I turned off the Yankee game once it was 14-1 after 5 innings. I don't even know why I kept watching it, but I was like, maybe this could be legendary. Nope. And then turn on the Knicks game, and then I go to bed crying. Luckily, the Nationals money line saved my day, but yeah. And then now Yamahu, Ryan Yarbrough. I mean, this was just so embarrassing. I got to be completely honest with you. I mean, I've told you about my home friends. They're all texting me. They're putting me in group chats with family members I've never heard of, and they're being like, "What's going wrong with your Yankees?" And I want to fricking just punch my TV. The Yankees, they're always, and I don't think they've had a good West Coast trip in my 27 years on this earth, but this was just, I mean, I'm looking for revenge. Go into LA. Dodgers aren't even playing their best baseball right now. On the podcast, I was just talking about it with Aram, and I was like, Dodgers are great, but they're not this incredible team. Like, they can be beaten. And then my Yankees go in, and I'm just like, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they blew a lead, too. Like, it was.
Yeah.
Should we talk college baseball?
Uh, so remember when you were just super duper negative about the Yankees and you're like doing the woe is me thing as a Yankee fan 8 seconds ago? Remember when you were doing that? The
Correct.
New York Yankees are 13 games over 500. They had won 7 of 8 coming into this weekend in LA, and they have the second best run differential in Major League Baseball, only
Doesn't matter.
behind the Chicago Cubs.
Doesn't matter. Season's over.
Sure. God, I hate what you do to
I
me.
hate
I
I
hate
hate
what
what
you
you are.
I I and it's not like I don't want to say like I hate your fan base. It's like I hate you individually and what you do to me.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about being a Yankee fan. It's World Series or bust, right? That's what we should be thinking about. So yeah,
You're
will
the
we?
best team in the American League right now. Like
No, we're not. Tigers are definitely better than us. I would say the Mariners,
false. So false.
Twins would probably sweep us.
Oh my God, shut up.
Tigers are better. Tigers are better. They have a better record. They've been better than us. Are they not? Are they
Dude,
not?
I don't think so. I think you're the Yankees. Like just end the podcast. Just end it.
Should we talk about how Ryan Yarbrough pitched
No,
well?
just end it.
So that'll do it for this episode of the Just Baseball Show. What we're going to do, Jack's going to get off the Zoom. I'm going to do the next hour and a half on why the Yankees stink.
So can
Um,
someone tell me if this fedora is supposed to just rest on my head or actually like wrap around it? Do I need a bigger fedora?
Depending on who you are, this could either be one of your favorite weekend roundups ever or one of your least favorite weekend roundups ever. But regardless, the best way to support the Just Baseball Show is to rate and review 5 stars, whether it be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And of course, subscribing, liking, commenting on YouTube. Go get yourself one of the new, fresh, Just Baseball white rope hats. I would say it looks good on you, but it doesn't.
Parrot with a fedora underneath.
Yeah, pair
Just
it with a
looks sick.
fedora. It looks kind of cool. Look like you have tiny little wings there. Don't be like Jack. Just wear it without the fedora. Go get yours in the episode description. Also, again, the $35 5-month package for our Discord. It's the best way to get the most out of Just Baseball, of course. And we're going to be locked and loaded for the rest of the season. We'd love to have you join. Again, that link is in the episode description. And for the next, again, 20 minutes, bonus episode, why the Yankee season is over. For Jack McMullen, I'm Peter Apple. We will see you tomorrow. And with that, thank you, everybody.